been nothing but a disgusting person to me. Kelly, this is our dinner. Walk off the table right now. You're done. Move on. What I don't need.
Why are you freaking
because
out?
what I don't need right now, when I still have my stress.
Get yourself a heart attack. You need to relax.
You know what, Kelly?
You need to relax.
You know what, Kelly? Let's go on to the 10 million things where I should have said you should have relaxed.
Shannon Beador, the housewife who wanted it all, but ended up with a trail of scandals, lawsuits, and humiliation. Once introduced as the quirky, fun-loving mom of the Real Housewives of Orange County, Shannon's life has slowly unraveled in front of millions of viewers. From a DUI crash that shocked fans, to lawsuits that exposed her financial cracks, to years of toxic fights and alcohol-fueled meltdowns. Shannon's story isn't glamorous. It's tragic.
Heather, and I dropped
you at High Beavers.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't, Shannon.
You know what? My God. I had it with her. You guys will all see the truth. We'll all see the truth. Stop it! This is stress.
I'm sure.
And that is Vicky Gunvalson.
Shannon, no! Shannon! No! My fingers, God! Ow! Shannon, step back! Ow! You're hitching her hand! Are you okay?
Oh, Shannon!
Good night, my darling.
I will.
Good night.
I will, without you at my table.
What?
Get the out of here.
Keep eating.
This isn't my plate, you f***ing bitch!
Yeah.
That's not my f***ing plate!
And in this video, we'll pull back the curtain on every misstep. Her DUI, her lawsuit with John Jansen, her family drama, her Bravo downfall. By the end, you'll have to ask yourself, was Shannon just another victim of reality TV fame, or was she the architect of her own tragic end? When Shannon Beador first joined the Real Housewives of Orange County in 2014, she was introduced as the perfect picture of wealthy Orange County living. She had the Newport Beach home, the glamorous lifestyle, and a personality Bravo billed as quirky and refreshing. But almost immediately, cracks began to show. Instead of a confident, grounded housewife, what we saw was someone insecure, anxious, and overly dependent on alcohol and validation. Shannon's marriage to David Beador was falling apart in real time, and the cameras caught every fight, every tear, every glass of wine. The Shannon Bravo wanted us to see, the funny, eccentric mom, was overshadowed by the Shannon we actually saw. Emotional breakdowns, constant feuds with co-stars, and an inability to control her temper. What should have been her chance to shine on reality TV quickly became a running tabloid headline about instability and chaos. From the very beginning, the Shannon Beador brand was a contradiction, a housewife selling perfection, while her real life was already collapsing. September 2023 became the month Shannon Beador's carefully constructed Bravo image shattered for good. Late at night in Newport Beach, Shannon was caught driving under the influence. But this wasn't just a typical DUI. According to reports, she lost control of her car, slammed into the side of a house, and then attempted to drive away before abandoning her vehicle. Police found her walking her dog nearby, as if that would somehow erase the evidence of the crash.
So I stupidly got in the car and drove to John's because I needed help to try and get my phone back. And it was 3 blocks away. So I figure I can do the 3 blocks. And I mean, I got in an argument with John. And so he asked me to leave. And I was angry. And I thought, well, I'm not going to leave my car here. So I got in my car to drive the 3 blocks. And I was angry, very angry. And I made a horrible, horrible mistake.
The mugshot told the rest of the story. A shaken, disheveled housewife whose private chaos had finally spilled into the public record. Fans were horrified, critics were disgusted, and Bravo had a major scandal on its hands. How do you keep promoting a woman who put not only herself, but innocent people at risk? This wasn't quirky. This wasn't eccentric. This was reckless, irresponsible, and dangerous. Shannon didn't just hit a house, she hit rock bottom. And the image of her staggering public fall became one of the darkest chapters in Housewives history. If Shannon's DUI showed us her reckless side, her breakup with John Jansen revealed her manipulative one. For years, Shannon paraded John on screen as her perfect man. She insisted he was the rock she needed after her painful divorce from David Beador. Together, they smiled for cameras, went on cast trips, and played the part of Bravo's newest love story. But behind the scenes, that fairy tale was cracking. By March 2024, John Jansen filed a shocking lawsuit against Shannon, claiming he had loaned her $75,000 to pay for cosmetic surgery, including a facelift. According to court documents, Shannon never paid him back. For a woman already drowning in negative headlines, this was brutal. The story wasn't just about money, it was about betrayal. The man she once called her soulmate was now publicly exposing her for what looked like financial manipulation. By November 2024, the case was quietly settled with undisclosed terms. But the damage was already done. Shannon Beador had gone from Bravo's eccentric mom to the housewife accused of stiffing her ex for facelift money. It wasn't just embarrassing, it was humiliating. And for fans who once believed her story of resilience, this lawsuit proved one thing. Shannon wasn't just unlucky in love. She was reckless with trust, careless with money, and shameless enough to let it all play out in public. Shannon Beador's downward spiral wasn't just hidden behind closed doors, it played out on Bravo cameras for millions to see. Across multiple seasons of The Real Housewives of Orange County, Shannon became infamous for her heavy drinking, emotional breakdowns, and chaotic outbursts. What started as the occasional cocktail at a cast dinner quickly escalated into full-blown drunken meltdowns. Castmates accused her of being an angry drunk, and viewers couldn't ignore the pattern. Every time alcohol flowed, Shannon's emotions exploded. Whether it was screaming at a co-star, crying uncontrollably, or storming out of scenes in humiliation. Instead of confronting her issues, Shannon leaned into the drama, letting Bravo turn her instability into a storyline. But the truth was darker. Alcohol wasn't just a party accessory for Shannon. It was a shield, a way to numb, a way to excuse her behavior, and a way to keep deflecting from accountability.
You kind of talked a bit about it a little bit, but how would you describe your relationship with alcohol now?
So what I do, if I choose to have a drink, I'll have 1 or 2 drinks, and that's kind of how it used to be. Right. And again, if I find that it's an issue, then I will address it then. But so far, so good. You'll see me this season when we go on trips, especially. I like to go out to dinner, have a cocktail, and take a breath, and I do that, and I'm okay. So I want to be a person. I don't want to be a person that does sneak around and say, I will never drink again, and then have people looking.
What fans once brushed off as reality TV antics now looks like a tragic warning sign. Alcohol didn't just fuel Shannon's drama, it exposed the cracks in her life and became one of the key factors in her public downfall. If alcohol was one piece of Shannon's dark side, her toxic relationships with the other women were another. Time and time again, Shannon managed to turn friendships into battlefields. Her feuds with Tamra Judge, Alexis Bellino, Heather Dubrow, and even once loyal allies became defining parts of her RHOC legacy. She accused, manipulated, and played the victim. Often in the same episode, what started as sharp one-liners turned into relentless bullying and character assassinations. And while Bravo thrived on the drama, fans grew exhausted. By later seasons, Shannon's presence wasn't fun chaos anymore. It was uncomfortable. The laughter gave way to eye rolls, and viewers began questioning why anyone would want to stay friends with her. The pattern was undeniable. Every close friendship Shannon had on the show ended in scorched earth. She burned bridges faster than she could rebuild them. And instead of owning her behavior, she always pointed the finger at someone else. It's one thing to stir drama for ratings, it's another to alienate every single ally you've ever had. Shannon Beador mastered the second, and it left her reputation in ashes. Behind the drunken outbursts and lawsuits, the people most hurt by Shannon Beador's scandals weren't her castmates or even her critics. It was her own family. Her 3 daughters had to watch their mother's public humiliation play out on national television, from drunken meltdowns to the 2023 DUI crash that made headlines across the country. Imagine going to school the next day and knowing the world saw your mother in handcuffs. This wasn't new. Back in earlier seasons, Shannon's marriage to David Beador crumbled on screen in one of reality TV's most painfully raw storylines. She fought, she cried, she broadcasted their marital collapse to millions, and dragged her kids right into the chaos. Years later, the same pattern repeated. Toxic relationships, public drama, and family humiliation became part of her brand. In the pursuit of attention and relevance, Shannon made her loved ones collateral damage. Her daughters didn't sign up for Bravo's cameras, yet they became unwilling extras in her personal downfall. For years, Shannon Beador sold herself as the classic Orange County success story, the glamorous mom with the sprawling house, designer clothes, and endless parties. But the truth was uglier, a lifestyle crumbling under financial strain. Beyond the high-profile John Jansen lawsuit over the unpaid facelift loan, Shannon faced other cracks in her financial foundation. Reports of debts, legal disputes, and behind-the-scenes instability painted a very different picture from the wealthy image she flaunted on RHOG. Her income depended heavily on Bravo paychecks, while her spending habits screamed excess. It was a dangerous equation, unstable income paired with sky-high living costs. And eventually, the mask slipped. Court filings and lawsuits revealed what the show tried to hide. Shannon wasn't the picture of wealth. She was struggling to maintain a facade. The message was clear. The so-called rich OC mom image was smoke and mirrors. Behind the champagne toasts and designer labels was a woman trying desperately to keep the fantasy alive, even as it collapsed in public view. If Shannon Beador's life looked like a train wreck, Bravo was the conductor. Every scandal, from her marriage imploding to her alcohol-fueled meltdowns and even her DUI arrest, became reality TV gold. Cameras rolled, editors cut, and audiences tuned in. The network milked her pain, spinning her downfall into ratings. But here's the ethical problem. Did Bravo actually enable Shannon's worst behaviors? Instead of intervening when drinking and instability became dangerous, they doubled down, showcasing every messy scene. Fans laughed, gossiped, and kept watching. While Shannon's real life unraveled, the network profited while a woman spiraled. And when her scandals grew too big to ignore, Bravo simply shifted the narrative, leaving Shannon to face the fallout alone. Her story is the ugly side of reality TV, where someone's darkest moments aren't stopped, they're packaged and sold for entertainment. Shannon Beador's pain was Bravo's profit, and the cost was her dignity, her family, and ultimately her reputation. Once upon a time, Shannon Beador was seen as relatable. Fans sympathized with her failing marriage, her insecurities, and even her over-the-top quirks. But sympathy turned into exhaustion and eventually disgust. By the time her DUI arrest and lawsuit headlines hit, public perception had shifted dramatically. What once read as vulnerability now looked like toxicity. Her drinking, her constant meltdowns, and her habit of turning every conflict into a pity party no longer felt funny. They felt dangerous and unstable. Social media lit up with criticism. Online petitions demanded Bravo cut ties with her. Reddit threads tore apart her behavior, labeling her a liability not just to herself, but to the entire cast. Fans who once defended her now admitted they were embarrassed to have rooted for her. A split emerged, a small base of loyal defenders who insisted Shannon was misunderstood versus a louder, growing chorus who wanted her gone. The end result? Her reputation was no longer salvageable. She wasn't the underdog anymore, she was the problem. If there's one thing Shannon Beador mastered over her years on reality TV, it wasn't growth. It was excuses. Every scandal, every fight, every reckless decision came with a ready-made explanation. She was stressed. She was depressed. She was provoked. She drank too much because of co-star drama. She lashed out because of family struggles. On and on, the list of excuses grew. But accountability never followed. Take the 2023 DUI crash. Instead of full responsibility, Shannon leaned into damage control, offering carefully worded apologies that critics immediately labeled as hollow. Judges, castmates, and even fans could see it. Her apologies weren't about remorse, they were about saving face. The same pattern played out with the John Jansen lawsuit. Rather than admit to mishandling money, she spun the story as a misunderstanding, despite clear claims that she borrowed tens of thousands for cosmetic surgery and never paid it back. Over and over, Shannon cast herself as the victim. But by the end, viewers and critics alike were done buying the act. The narrative was simple: endless excuses, no accountability, and when accountability never comes, neither does redemption. Behind Shannon Beador's meltdowns and scandals, there's a trail of victims who rarely get the spotlight. The homeowners from her 2023 DUI crash were left to deal with property damage and the trauma of having a reckless reality star crash into their lives. Literally. Shannon's actions weren't just embarrassing, they were dangerous. Someone could have been seriously hurt, or worse. Then there's John Jansen, her former boyfriend. What began as a love story she flaunted on Real Housewives turned into a bitter lawsuit, with John accusing Shannon of borrowing $75,000 for cosmetic surgery and refusing to repay him. He went from romantic partner to legal opponent, dragged into a media circus because of her choices. Her co-stars weren't spared either. Tamra Judge, Alexis Bellino, Heather Dubrow, and others faced public humiliation, screaming matches, and relentless bullying at Shannon's hands. Their reputations and peace of mind became collateral damage in her quest to dominate storylines. And perhaps the most tragic victims of all, her 3 daughters. Forced to grow up in the shadow of their mother's scandals, her kids watched their family name become national headlines for all the wrong reasons. For them, Shannon's mistakes weren't reality TV entertainment. They were real life, played out on the biggest stage possible. The truth is clear, Shannon's downfall didn't just affect her, it hurt everyone around her. This isn't the story of Shannon Beador's literal death, it's the story of the death of her reputation. She entered Bravo as the glamorous Orange County mom with the big house, the relatable insecurities, and the picture-perfect family. But today, she's not remembered for any of that. She's remembered as a DUI mugshot, a lawsuit headline, and the cast member who could never stop playing the victim. Her transformation is complete, from a sympathetic figure to a tabloid punchline, from a Bravo darling to a liability. And while Bravo may continue to milk her downfall for ratings, the clock is ticking. When her scandals stop being profitable, her reality TV career may be over for good. Shannon Beador wanted fame, but fame magnified her flaws. In chasing the spotlight, she lost her credibility, her friendships, and her dignity. Her legacy is not that of a beloved housewife, but a cautionary tale of denial, alcohol, and greed. Shannon Beador's story isn't just about one woman's fall, it's a warning about what happens when lies, alcohol, and reckless choices collide on reality TV. But here's the question for you. Should Bravo finally cut ties with Shannon Beador, or does she still deserve one last redemption arc? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe, because next we're exposing another Bravo scandal that proves, behind the diamonds and designer gowns, the reality is far darker than it looks.